Hey, everybody, and welcome back to another exciting episode of the VOD Squad, the show where we talk about streaming technology. This is episode 155 on 10/23/2019. I am Clyde, and today I am joined by Matthew Ross.
Hey, guys.
And Jimmy Dremel.
Hey, I gotta say, I really like being able to hear the sound, being able to hear the music.
It's nice.
Isn't that good?
That was one of those things that we finally got to do with Skype, and then they took it away. And
Dirty,
now that
rotten
we're on Zoom,
scoundrels.
we can do it again. So,
yes, that's right, everybody. Well, you get to enjoy that wonderful music that during the intro. We had to sit through silence for like a year or more of just kind of waiting for it to end and not knowing when it starts again. And now we get to hear it.
One of these days, I'm going to set up a special scene so that everybody can see us dancing during the song, which they normally can't see.
It's true.
And not tell anybody.
Just so you know, I dance every time. I do.
Technology is a wonderful thing.
It's one of those things that they're probably better off not seeing because, I mean, if they saw me dancing during that song, then they might unsubscribe.
Clyde, I'm sorry. I know you don't have any pants on. That's why you can't stand up. So you can't dance like that. Okay.
You weren't supposed to say that.
Yeah. It was
Sorry.
supposed to be a surprise.
I'm sorry.
But yeah, hey, so we are back for another Wednesday chock full of stuff.
Yep.
And what is that stuff?
We're going to start with news if you want.
Sure.
News of the week. We have Amazon is offering a news service available to their Amazon Fire TV and to their Fire tablets. It is a free for anybody who wants to watch a news service, a news aggregation. It'll be supported by ads. It includes all kinds of various sources for the news, from CBS to AOL News to Newsy, and all different kinds of different sources that they use to get this stuff available to you. So another way to get your news if you have an Amazon device.
Yep, and that is actually beginning today.
Oh, it's too bad I don't know.
Sorry,
Amazon.
that was beginning yesterday.
Oh.
So it's live. So if you are an Amazon user and you want to scratch that news itch, you can. You can even watch Al Jazeera. But
yeah,
I'm CRT.
I'm surprised that AOL has a news service. I didn't even know AOL was still around.
Still part of Time Warner, I think, for their news side. I could be wrong.
Well, yeah, but man,
I'm just glad that they finally stopped sending me those discs.
I mean, I started to laugh when I saw Yahoo News, but then I saw AOL News.
Yeah, I mean, in that Yahoo, as we talked about, I think last week, or maybe it was during Movie Party, but news is one thing that Yahoo's actually still good for. Just don't log into the email, and you're fine.
Yeah, Yahoo Financial is still king in my opinion, right?
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, they've got a lot of the big ones like Huffington's on there, Reuters.
I didn't realize
Bloomberg.
People made a news channel.
And even the ridiculously named ones like Cheddar and Watch It, WOCHIT.
I love that name. It's so weirdly spelled, but pronounced correctly. Watch it.
Watch it. Yeah.
What are you doing? I'm gonna go and watch it. I'm gonna check out Watch It now.
My internal bias engine is fully engaged, and I don't think I could trust anything from them just because of the name.
Now Cheddar is kind of a clever name.
I mean, Cheddar's
right?
clever. Yes, Cheddar is clever, but no, the name Watch It is just
Watch it.
WOCHIT.
Yeah.
Now, if
Watch
that was
it.
the person's last name, okay, that's understandable. But yes, no.
No, I actually
if it's intentionally misspelled.
I think I'm actually intrigued by the misspelling, and it is pronounced correctly.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to check them out. I think so.
It reminds me of a band name idea that had many years ago, which was Jesus Sees Us, and you spell it SIEZE, but it plays on multiple levels.
I like that.
Oh wow!
Nothing ever became of that. So if someone wants to run with it, go for it.
Oh man!
So are you guys gonna watch the news on Amazon? I think I might try. I don't watch news all that much anymore, but I might try this.
I stopped watching the news completely back like 10 years ago, and my life immediately got better.
Yeah, same for me. I mean,
it was like, oh wait, I look around and realize, oh, everything's not as terrible as they want us to believe. Okay, I feel better now.
Well, if you ask me, I will not be able to try this out because I don't have any Amazon devices. So
yeah. Oh, there's the other thing. Well, I guess you could do the Amazon. Oh, you don't have Prime at all. Yeah.
Actually, we do have Prime.
Okay,
but
so you should be able to access this in the
web?
Amazon Prime app, I believe.
Okay.
I think so.
I will. Well, we'll see. I'm sure we'll find out.
We'll have to find out.
So if you guys have been keeping up with the various streaming services that are out there, you probably noticed that a lot of them have come up with little price hikes over time, and it looks like we just got another one. AT&T TV Now, what you used to be DirecTV TV Now, has upped the price for everybody to see. It looks like the lowest price you can pay now for their AT&T TV Now service is $65 and goes up from there. So,
wow,
yeah,
that's a gigantic leap because it started at $35 if I remember correctly. That's a $30.
Well,
that's more than double.
35 up to 45.50. It has been a pretty average jump.
Right.
You know,
now 50 to 65.
But that additional 60, now that it's 65, I think that's the final death nail or the final nail in the coffin.
Death nail.
I mean, at that point, you might as well subscribe to cable, right?
Well, that might be the point. I'm not so certain. Although I have to say, now I've Jesus Sees Us and Death Nail are two excellent band names that we've got going on here. So I'm gonna have to start a list.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I think you're right, Clyde. The price point is just going to be a little too rich for most people.
Yeah, I mean,
they're just going to turn away from this.
The only reason I was ever a subscriber is when I was getting it for like $10 because
right.
And even that was like, if my parents weren't actively using it, I probably wouldn't have paid it. But yeah, no, definitely not. I mean, 65, you can get YouTube TV, and that gets you no ads on YouTube.
Right.
Yes, please.
Yeah. So how is there video on demand for this AT&T service?
I mean, when I used it like over a year ago, I mean, it was fine. But
how does it compare to Hulu?
Or Hulu TV?
No, how does it compare to Hulu's video on demand?
Well, it'd be different because it's built around the DVR idea, so it'd be more equivalent to YouTube TV in VODs or on demand, which is fine. But you'll get commercials based on the platform. So like if it's AMC, if it's an AMC show, you're gonna get 5 commercials every 5 minutes. No way around it. Same thing with sci-fi, but whereas if that content is also available on Hulu, you can at least get no commercials. So yeah, I would compare it more to YouTube TV, and I mean, it was fine. I don't think any of them had like particularly better fidelity. They're all pretty much the same thing. It's just a matter of who's offering the channels you want at a price that you want to pay. And like I said, if you compare this to YouTube TV gets you, you can share it with four people in your household. You get the access to the Prime or the YouTube Premium stuff, and then you also get no commercials on YouTube. So it's like, yeah, save some money and get that instead.
It's a pretty good deal. Yeah, I agree. So if you are a Android TV user, you may be getting the new Play Store UI. It's rolling out to devices now, and it looks like it's providing a much needed updated interface for that system, which is good because I have felt like this step to I think it was to Pi first, and the newest step to Android 10. Felt like it was a sideways step where they tried to clean everything up, but it felt too barren. And so I actually think that this will be a good.
This is where I say finally, because they told us they were doing this back in May. They made the announcement that they were going to be changing the Play Store on Android TV back in like May, and it's finally going to be rolling out soon.
It's starting to roll out now to some people,
places. So that's why I say soon, because no guarantee, depending on what your device is.
I'll check my NVIDIA Shield, and then we'll see if it's updated on that.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, good for them. Finally, I'm just glad to see they're doing it.
Yep. And speaking of the NVIDIA Shield, that Shield has been the best Android TV box you could buy. Basically, it's been like the number one, and it was expensive for the longest time, depending if you got it with the controller, or a little less expensive if you got it like how I got it with just the remote.
Yeah, and I heard they're coming out with a new one.
And interestingly enough, it looks like that there's been some leaks on various websites, including Amazon, about what the new one's going to look like, and possibly even some specs. It's going to have a new processor, the Traeger X1 Plus, which is going to be faster. It's going to have it's supposed to, a new remote. This remote looks kind of triangular, which actually I kind of like the idea of the triangular remote, so it's always on its side if you put it down, kind of thing. That appeals to me. I don't know why. Also, probably feels good in the hand.
I think it's aping more of the Roku, how the Roku is deeper in the back but narrow, so it fits in the contour of your hand. It looks like a Toblerone.
Yeah, ooh, yeah, that's a very good description. Also, it looks like it's still got. It looks a lot better than the old very flat remote that came with the other TV.
Which I didn't mind the old flat remote. One thing that I did like about the Google or the Android TV remote is the dished button in the control ring, but I never liked the round control. I want dedicated up down. I don't like
technically you do have dedicated up down, but it's just not. It's
not I meant tactile. I like to be able to distinguish between different buttons in the dark. Not just like kind of, but yeah.
What are you doing in the dark?
So this actually showed up as a listing for pre-sale on Amazon, which the link has been since removed. But yeah, we'd heard it was coming. It essentially it's the same the exterior is the same from the refresh they did like 6 months ago.
Right.
Yeah, really the only thing that is different, I mean, the RAM and the storage is staying the same. The only difference really is just the processor. But I mean, that's good. this has been the same device for over 3 years. It's about
Yep.
time they got a new processor.
Yeah, that's true.
And I think when I saw it, the price was like $199.
That's what it was
So.
listed as.
So yeah, I mean, if you're looking for, we're kind of waiting for a new Android TV. I might actually consider this now, because I'm come to the realization that nobody else is going to really offer the Android TV I want.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just going to have to settle for this one.
Sorry.
That's okay.
It's a painful purchase because it's $200, but it's worth it.
Well, it's not that. It was paying
And it was for me.
$200 for a 2 or 3 year old device was what was painful.
Oh, agreed.
But now that there's actually been a refresh and
Sure.
the price has come down, I think
they've added HDR too on this model, right?
Okay. More HDR formats. I believe they're supporting HDR Dolby Vision. And
'cause they supported Atmos before, right?
or just regular HDR10, which is the open standard. I know they did that.
Yeah, they're saying the Adobe Adobe Vision HDR and Adobe Digital Plus.
Yeah, so Atmos,
and Atmos.
the old one did support Atmos before. And then, so the new processor enables what they're calling AI upscaling.
So I'm guessing it's really good upscaling from 1080p to 4K
in real time.
I'm guessing.
Yeah. So,
well,
rock on. I mean, I've got that Atmos tuner now, so.
Yeah, the upscaling that means like if it's an HD picture or HD resolution, it'll upscale it to like 2K or something like that.
Yeah, or 4K.
Yeah, it says 4K resolution in real time. So,
all right,
cool.
Yeah, good deal.
Speaking of more new hardware, Roku, actually this isn't new hardware, has a new feature available for their various Roku devices. It's called the Instant Sign-Up Program. Essentially, this allows you to sign into a service like HBO and be able to try it out without even setting up an account. This is a continuing Roku's way of looking at how they can ease the onboarding process for any of their services. I mean, they're free shows that will get you for services, so they've been letting you try out that way. And now this, they're really trying hard to make it so if you want to try something, Roku's the way to go.
Yeah, I mean, this is really cool because a lot of times you're like, hey, there's this thing on this channel, and then you go, oh, yeah, 7-day trial. Oh, I have to set up an account and give never mind. This will allow you to just basically push a button and be like, all right, I'm in.
It sounds, my guess is it's actually setting up an account with a temporary account number through the Roku, essentially.
Exactly.
So it knows that, okay, well, even though we haven't given you an email address or a phone number to be an account number for, or what we're temporarily giving you a randomized Roku number that's assigned to this Roku, so you can try it, and then later when your trial's up, you can then attach it to a real account at that time. Exactly. And you go, okay, it's worth it. Yeah. I really like that show. I'll go ahead and make my account.
Exactly. And it removes that barrier to entry. It's not going to be a big deal for a lot of people, but it is going to be a big deal for some. And I say good on you, Roku.
So a question there. Yeah. So if you sign up on the Roku channel, let's say you sign up for HBO on the Roku channel. How about if you download the HBO app on
So
onto Roku, does it cross? Will it recognize it inside the app?
I don't think that you will be able to sign in to the HBO channel. It depends. It'll depend on the brand or the streaming channel, because like if you go to let's say Stars, there's Stars Anywhere. If I'm paying for Stars through YouTube TV, if I have it attached, it's up to them whether or not they want to count that as a provider. to allow you to use that authentication.
Mhm.
Because I know there were certain channels that like AMC and whatnot that wouldn't allow you to do that, but other channels will. So
Mhm.
it really comes up to the app, the content.
It comes up to
owner.
the content provider,
Yeah.
right? So yeah,
So
yeah,
I
that's-
know, like right now, I am subscribed to Epix for Get Shorty. And I remember previously when I was getting Epix through, I think, Amazon, I couldn't use that as an authentication for the
Yeah.
Epix streaming service.
Yeah, I think most of them, either do it
Yeah.
through somebody like Roku or Apple TV's, internal channel, or you do it through the app, right? It's a shame they won't let it go cross like that, but okay. I understand.
But
I,
also,
I understand why, right? But
also
but
if you're adding it on as part of, let's say, your Amazon Prime
Mhm.
to watch on your Fire TV,
Mhm.
it's kind of pointless for you to sign up through Amazon, because it's gonna just be in your feed, as opposed to also on that same device using a dedicated application. So
Well, I mean, it'd be like this: like, hey, I want to pay through just my one account, but then I prefer to watch it through the app, right? If
I
you're
agree.
that, if that's the case, then you can't really do that.
All right. So I'm guessing, Clyde, you must have a lurker on your movie party nights. That's what I'm
Mhm.
thinking. I'm guessing you have a lurker, and his name's Jeff. You
Mhm.
ever be on there and you've realized that there's a guy named Jeff that's just basically listening in on everything that, lurking on your movie
Mr.
party show?
Beezies. What's
Mr.
his name?
Bees. Bees
Oh, he's
knees.
a Bezos or something like
Yes.
that.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Anyways, I think he's watching you, and he had a really good idea. And so Twitch is starting something called watch parties, which is allowing the Twitch viewers to sign into a stream on Twitch and stream a video that's a communal video for everybody to watch together on Amazon Prime. That's available on Amazon Prime. Interesting. Amazon Prime is also Amazon also owns Twitch, so I guess that's how that works. Okay. Which allows you to have a movie party night online with your friends and have commentary. This sounds so familiar to me.
Yeah, when we first read about this, was super excited because we can't do movie party on Twitch because we don't own the content. And 90% of the time, we're buying or renting it from Amazon because they'll have it. So I thought, awesome, till I started reading into this and then found out, number one, everybody that's participating must have a Prime subscription.
Yep.
US Prime subscription, so that rules out anybody that wants to participate from Canada, like Mr. Cruz. Or Flavor down in New Zealand, Hobbit Town. And then also, it's not the full catalog. It's only Prime. So
And
I
not even
can't-
all those.
So if I buy a movie, it's not allowed. So that ruined that. And then also, it's not even all Prime. It's some selected content. So this ends up being just another example of what Netflix and Facebook both did, but it's so restrictive that it doesn't really.
Right.
It'll work for some people, but it's not the fiddle, But
So, in other words, it's good for those 3 or 4 movies that everybody does want to see on that was available.
yeah, and I mean,
Gotcha.
this I'm absolutely sure it has to do with content deals, and so they'll probably do like, oh hey, the new whatever movie just hit Amazon Prime and it's allowed this month, and then I don't know. So I don't think we'll be using it anytime soon. But we're getting by just fine with Zoom. You can't take down a private meeting that no longer exists when it's done. So I think we're good.
Okay. Well, Verizon is offering their unlimited customers a free 12 months of Disney Plus for free with when they are unlimited customers. So if you are a unlimited customer with Verizon, they are going to be providing you with a full year of Disney Plus as a part of one of their discount bundles. And apparently, it looks like that if you signed in for one of those like 3-year deals, it'll also work with those. They'll just give you an additional year on top of that.
So, okay, so they're doing this to compete with the Apple thing, but but the funny thing is, if you're a Verizon subscriber and you buy, or does this include iPhones as well?
It should. I don't see
Because
why
I was going to say, because you're a Verizon subscriber, you get a new iPhone with the unlimited. So then you get a free year of Disney Plus and Apple TV Plus.
Oh, man.
So
that's
how does that compete with Apple TV Plus other than just getting you on both?
Unless you buy Android, then you're screwed.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But
Yeah,
I mean, if you're Android, most there's a big chance that you may not even be interested.
That's actually true. You are counterculture at that point.
So, yeah, good for them. They're finally joining the ranks because AT&T's been giving me free HBO for over a year.
Right.
Sprint has been giving free Hulu.
And T-Mobile gives
they give Netflix.
Exactly. So everybody's giving away something. Give you? The ability to switch between 2.5 different networks.
Yeah,
it's basically it.
Well, I didn't know. That wasn't meant to be a dig. I was just curious if they're actually giving you anything like YouTube TV.
No, they're not giving me anything like that. Unfortunately,
commercial-free YouTube.
Wouldn't that be nice if they went ahead and give me a YouTube TV or YouTube Premium for just because I'm a member? That'd be nice, but no.
We should start a petition because I've been looking at Google Fi, so
there are pluses and minuses, and I'd be happy to talk about them after the show.
Okay.
All right. If you have a Google Home, or many like I do, you may experience a recent problem with your Google Home where it's unable to respond to your requests. And if you look at it, it will be showing four dots being lit up on the front, and can't seem to get past that. It seems to be stuck there. This is an update that Google pushed out to some devices, not all. And this update has caused these devices to basically brick themselves. They are no longer functioning. Excuse me. So Google apparently has been trying to see if they can fix this remotely, but it looks like they've been having to also replace various devices if they've been bricked in this way. The good news is if you've had your device for more than a year and thus out of warranty, Google is still replacing the device in this case.
Have you tried turning it off and on again?
That's an excellent idea. I would try that. Except for there's one problem. There's no button. How do you turn it off?
You unplug it.
You unplug it.
I'm sorry. I was leading into the good old IT crowd joke.
Actually, isn't there a button on the bottom?
There is a switch on the bottom where you can turn off the microphone.
Well, no, I thought there was like a button that worked like a reset.
There is a hidden button. You're right. It's underneath the rubber bottom feet, and you can push through the rubber bottom and actually click the button. It's like a reset.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it sounds like if it is bricked, if you do end up getting that, Bible Magic is saying there's nothing you can do, and
that's usually the definition of bricked.
Yeah, generally.
Yeah, and that just means Google will be giving you a new one.
Yeah, hopefully you got a new updated model. That'd be great.
And you get like one of the new colors.
I don't think it only has one new color, which is like
the yellow
corn. No. It's like a cornflower blue.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's better than that ugly pink one that they've got there. You know, that one, the one on their screen, that one broke just because it was ashamed.
That one's more gray than pink. I would think.
It looks like that coral. Maybe, I don't know.
No, coral is like
it's like that bright.
It's like part pink, part orange.
Yeah, you're right.
And I actually like the color, but I agree it can be obnoxious. But it can be good too. So
that one's just it's embarrassed because it doesn't know what it is.
It does look like it's blushing a little bit. It does look a little blushing, doesn't it? That picture is obviously the color balance is off and it feels a little blushing. Moving on, Roku is offering their Roku 4K streaming stick plus with a new updated price of $50. This means that you will now be able to pick up this device for less than half of a Benjamin. So if you've been waiting for your 4K options to be cheaper, you've got another option available to you.
Yeah. I forgot to look and see if this is the Walmart one.
Yeah, no, it is not the Walmart one, but it is one.
Okay, because Walmart has the two Walmart only Roku devices that are cheaper because they have slightly they're missing specific specs.
Right.
Like the Ultra LT. The main difference is it's just got the old processor. It doesn't have the new one, and it's missing the USB port.
Oh darn!
Yeah. And it's like that's basically the only difference. So it's a current version of the Ultra without the USB port, and it doesn't have the new 1 and 2 assignable button on the remote. So it's basically the old Roku Ultra. And it's like $30 cheaper. They also have their own version of the streaming stick, which is again similar. So I think it's was already right around that $50 price.
Right.
So, well, yeah. I mean, you look at it. Any of these streaming sticks like this, they all get the same marketing strategy, right? Hey, here's a streaming stick, and you can buy it for $50 or $35. You know, whatever the price is, right? They never give you any specs or anything, right? Which is usually the trouble with these sticks, right?
Well, Roku gives you the specs on the website, but
yeah,
they give you the specs,
but they don't give it in the advertisement, right?
Depends. Sometimes they do.
To the full size one usually does give you some sort of specs, you know. Oh, hey, you got HDR, you got 4K, all this kind of thing, right?
And you don't see any of that here. I will say the Streaming Stick Plus was a huge step forward in comparison to their previous sticks, because the sticks were always they're more convenient. Plug it in and you don't have to see it. It's like just attached to the TV. But they made it bigger with the dedicated Wi-Fi portion of it. And yeah, I got one for my parents, and it's been great. Every once in a while, they have to reboot it,
but I'd say for anybody that cares anything about fidelity, this wouldn't be for your main.
No.
This would be for a secondary television, right?
I mean, this is fine for most people. But if you want a wired Ethernet connection and the Dolby Atmos, actually, I think this supports Atmos.
It might. I remember this is the one which has that unique power adapter that has the Wi-Fi built into the end of the power adapter. That's what this one is. It's a unique design, but yeah.
Like I said, this one is. I mean, the main thing it doesn't have is the like JBL headphones and the USB and micro SD ports. That's the main difference between that and the previous Ultra. But yeah, but $50 is a good price. I think because I got one at $70 for my parents, and they've been using it for like 2 years now, and it was a good purchase. So
yeah,
deal. But Roku, they're on to bigger and better things.
Yes, they are. Guess what? Roku has made a decision to purchase an advertising company called DataZoo. Now, from my understanding, DataZoo is a kind of a platform that allows people to purchase the where they're going to purchase and how they're going to purchase their advertisements on the various streaming platforms. This allows them to get more information themselves about what the people are purchasing and what kind of where they're going to be able to put their money, where they're going to put their advertisements. So especially since Roku is on multiple platforms, this seems like a pretty good fit for them.
Yeah, I mean, and the cool thing about this from Roku's perspective is this is one of only 2 platforms that were approved by Amazon. Amazon recently, if you remember, they had decided to allow advertisers to use third-party ad buying platforms, and DataZoo is one of them. So Roku will, if this ends up going through, Roku will be able to monetize ads on the Fire devices.
It's not bad.
So I mean, it's a win for. I mean, and Roku made it very clear that a couple of years ago that they're moving in new directions in finding ways to monetize the platform, because you can only sell so many devices.
It's only so many $30 set-top boxes,
and if they had never gone public, then that probably could have been fine to just be the device company that makes money. But when they went public, and so now they've got investors that they need to keep happy, which means they need to continue to find new ways to increase their profitability. And actually, on that story, if you scroll down to the next one, there down lower, there's a chart there that shows their quarter, the earnings, the revenue for the last year. And while the player revenue in the millions has been kind of stagnant, there was one quarter that it jumped up to like 124 million.
Christmas quarter.
Exactly. But if you look there, the platform revenue
it's going way up.
Has been like exponentially. I mean, their growth has been almost like 100% year over or quarter over quarter.
Does that platform revenue include the commercials?
It will. It doesn't, because they don't have the commercials right now. The platform growth has to do with purchases through the store, and then also the ads that they were showing on the Roku channel, which is multi-platform. So that's because that's where they've been monetizing. Now, with the purchase of this with this advertising company, they'll be able to sell ads anywhere that people are using the third. So I mean, this could be in browsers, this could be on websites, this could be on broadcast TV stations. Could be anywhere.
Be interesting to see where that platform revenue goes after they get the
exactly
the ads in place.
Yeah, because I mean, this last Q2 of 2019, they saw a growth of 86% in platform growth. So yeah, I expect that to only go higher.
Indeed. And all right, well, that's the news for the week, guys.
Rock on. Thanks, everybody. This is the point where we like to just send a shout out, thank you to all of you that have been our supporters. Some of you going all the way back to day one, which was about a year ago, when we finally decided, okay, fine, we'll allow some sort of monetization, whether we do or not. But just to know that that is an option is cool. And those of you that are supporting us, you're awesome. You rock.
You are.
We greatly appreciate you.
Indeed.
And everybody else, if you feel like you want to support us, you can. If you didn't know that was an option, we're telling you.
Just for a moment there, it was like you were saying that everybody else, you can all just go to.
I would never say that live on the air.
Clyde, what are you doing?
That's the kind of thing I would say like after the camera, or after I think the camera's off.
Okay.
Not when I know that there are
we're
like
better than a bad investment.
That's correct.
Yes,
we certainly are.
Yeah, and, we may not be a good investment, but we're better than a bad investment.
Excellent.
All righty. We should check on over to Big Voice Jay with the Movie Draft Minute.
Welcome to your Red League Movie Draft Minute, presented by DiamondClub.tv for the week of October 21st, 2019. I'm your host, Big Voice Jay. Apparently, you can't dip your pet in chocolate. All I wanted was a kitty cat bar. Let's go to the scoreboard. Team BS with BNS is in last place, still waiting for the first fill. Team Movie Party gets $408,000 from Jojo Rabbit and 5th place. Team Mixtape gets $32 million from Zombieland 2 Double Tap and 4th place. Team Geek IO's in 3rd place with $55 million. Team Game Night's in 2nd place with $38.1 million. And in 1st place, thanks to Maleficent 2 Mistress of Evil's $43 million debut, it's Team Bot Squad with $304.9 million. That's your Stream Team Movie Draft Minute. For up-to-date listings, follow Stream Team Draft on Twitter.
That was a long fade out. All right. So, how's life up there at the top?
It's wonderful. We love it up here. It's going to be great because we're going to be up here for a whole nother maybe week, maybe a few more weeks. You'll see. It actually, technically, if you look at across between leagues, we are actually ahead of DKG as well, because we happen to have another movie that they didn't pick up. But next week they're going to be picking up Ford v Ferrari. Fieri. So that will likely, as far as total league standings, they will be able to push ahead of us. So that's okay. We'll still be in the league.
I have a feeling opening weekend, November 22nd. I'm just going to jump straight to the top.
It's possible. Oh, yeah.
That's what I'm counting on. And if I'm wrong, then
is that Frozen 2?
Yes. Frozen 2.
Yeah. Yeah, I got a feeling you might be right, man. So I mean, you're seeing advertisements on loaf bread, right?
Although, we've talked about my movie Playing with Fire, and it's like, it's not going to make much money. But I keep hearing kids talking about it, like super excited, because, and I was comparing it with last year. I got the Cock Blockers movie, which was the other John Cena movie. But then I realized, that movie was marketed to adults.
Yes, it was.
Because it was all about, scaring adults about their kids, what they're doing on prom night, and the parents banding together to keep them from doing the things they know they're going to do.
Right.
This one is it looks terrible, but that's why the kids love it.
Exactly.
I took my daughter to see Maleficent. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Has it.
We do.
I took my daughter to see Maleficent, and they showed that trailer, and she's 13. She goes, "That looks funny." I'm like, huh. And then every kid in that theater, I could hear, "Mom, we need to see that." I was like, all right, maybe it'll do a little bit better than I hoped.
Kid movies do okay. And let's see. Let's see. It was Playing with Fire. I think I put a guess that it's going to make $75 million.
See, I didn't even think. I was thinking like maybe 30. But if it wants to creep closer to that was my wild card.
My guess now is 50, but I would probably put on it. But it'll make some money.
So I have a little bit more faith in it than I did before. It was the one that was the complete wild card.
Right.
And all I got to say is I saw the standee for this display in the theater lobby.
Yeah.
And I thought John Cena was a lot taller. But apparently he's the same height as me. So
Oh, okay. So
John Cena.
John
oh,
Cena.
yeah. So of all of our movies that we have, I'm very happy with Joker. Joker is, if we do anything at all this season, is because Joker so far has done remarkably well. I am sad Maleficent has had such a soft launch because, quite frankly, it should have done it. It should get $100 million, but it's not going to. I don't think. Maybe over the whole winter break, but it's just sad what's going on with it. Parasite, I understand why it's doing so poorly, because it's only made $1.8 million because it's only been in like 10 theaters, 50 theaters. I don't know, very small number. Jaxie, I have no excuse.
No.
Neither does that movie.
That was the one that was, that if it did great, awesome, but
no, Jaxie, that movie looked like your standard comedy, the kind of comedy we've been seeing for years. People go see these movies. It's Adam Driver. I was thinking
Adam Driver.
I think it was not Adam.
It's Adam Devine.
Oh, sorry, Adam Devine. My apologies.
Like Adam Driver. Was that like Minnie Driver's like little brother?
I don't know. Anyways, it looks like the kind of movie that people would go see and laugh at and go realize that it's not that great of a movie, but still it's a good comedy. And yeah, it's doing crap numbers right now. I'm very upset about versus everything else.
Oh,
no.
Adam Driver was the bad guy in Star Wars.
Oh, was that? Oh, okay.
He was the Kylo guy.
Okay. Yeah, that's Adam. Okay. Well, no, definitely not him.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I've got this new phone. He talks to me. Maybe I'd watch that movie. That movie would probably make more money than Jaxie did. Oh, it's too bad.
All right. Well, good luck, guys. Let's move on.
Well, it looks like we can enjoy it until Thanksgiving anyway, huh?
Yeah. And there, Drew Nielsen says, yes, he was the bad guy in Star Wars. There were no other bad guys. Well, I haven't watched them, so I don't know. All right. Let's get into some rants and some raves. All right. What do we got?
I want to start with my rant, which is everything to do with the movie party draft.
The movie party draft?
Not the movie party. What's
wrong with our movie parties?
No, there's nothing wrong with the draft. It's the spreadsheet and how we gather our information. Just today, it looks like Box Office Mojo, the website which we have been using to gather our information from, has completely changed to IMDb. Has taken over ownership and has completely screwed with the way I gather my information on it. So I have been struggling for part of the day trying to figure out how to get this information from the website correctly. And it's not perfect yet, and things are still messed up a bit. So I apologize if you come to the site and see numbers that don't look right. That's because we are currently in technical difficulties. I'm looking at the other Diamond Club draft, and it looks like their numbers just haven't updated. So I'm wondering if they're also having the same issues. This is something that I will be working on, and I hope to have a fix soon. We'll see.
All right. And thank you for putting in the work to do that.
No problem.
It's a big problem, and that's why we want to say thank you.
Well, no, it's no problem for me putting in the work. It's a big problem that it freaking isn't working. That's okay. Learn new things every day, everybody.
Absolutely.
All right.
So,
yeah.
I think I mentioned this show once before.
Nope.
And it was because I saw like a trailer for it, and it wasn't out yet. But the show is out now. I have still yet to see an episode, but I am excited about it. And that show is called Treadstone. And this is a TV show. This is Jason Bourne come to, a TV show. Right?
This is the
the
unborn
pre-Jason Bourne, right? The
this is before him, right?
I think so. And but I mean, I like this genre anyway. Anything that's got like kind of like a spy movie or a spy TV show. It looks to have like a little bit of a feel of maybe 24. If you were a fan of that show, I was. So excited to see this. I'm actually putting this on my playlist to watch. So I'm excited to get started on this one here.
Rock on. Yeah, I never got into the Jason Bourne stuff. So
yeah, if you like spy movies and that kind of thing, I would say you'd probably like this.
All right. So Friday, kids were out of school, so I took my daughter to go see Maleficent because it was because Jojo Rabbit wasn't out like it was supposed to be.
Which you take your kids to that, obviously.
It was PG-13. They're 13.
Okay.
She saw the trailer and she died. She gets it. So
let's go watch the Nazis.
That was the plan. I was so excited, and then it wasn't available anyway. So I went, fine, I guess we'll go see Maleficent. And Maleficent, it was a movie. So it should do really good for you guys because, well, it might do okay because I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. It was kind of infuriating in parts just because it was so.
Well, it's interesting. Did you see the first Maleficent?
Yeah, I have it upstairs.
You did. Okay. And you liked it.
I didn't really care for it either.
Oh, you didn't. Okay. Okay.
Like I said, it wasn't my thing. There was just some things about the story that were just like, oh, painful. Just like, seriously, you couldn't think of anything, so you just went, okay, just say this, and then we'll move on.
So, Sleeping Beauty is one of my favorites as of all the Disney films.
You like her because she's sleeping, right?
Well, no, I like it because Maleficent is a badass in that cartoon. In that cartoon, she's just wicked, and she turns into a freaking dragon, breathes fire, and grows thorns everywhere. I mean, absolutely, she's a freaking badass, and that's really what makes that movie better than. I mean, it's a great film. Also, Disney worked really hard on making a beautiful animation for it. It is really well animated film, and so when I saw Maleficent, and I actually enjoyed the fact that they flipped the script a little bit for it. Yeah, I like that, quite frankly.
And I typically like the alternate tellings of stuff. Like,
sure.
I was always a Gregory Maguire fan. He's the one that wrote Wicked and then all the other Oz books. He did a Snow White one, and I read all his books. I absolutely love. I believe that his stories are actually canon. They're not told from the victor. They're told from a disinterested third party,
gotcha.
Like just a casual observer.
Gotcha.
But kind of like, well, I won't go there. But yeah, there were just things in the movie that was just super lazy. Oh, the other thing was that there are several scenes that were obviously they only intended you to see it in 3D because it is painful to watch in regular because the focal points are just all wrong because it's stuff that's supposed to come out and be right in your face. And we saw it in Limax, non 3D. But Disney, people from the studio were there. I kind of wanted to crush their dreams and say, no, you're not from the studio. You're just some people that Disney hired to give this survey, handing out surveys for everybody that watched it. I didn't think about that it was opening day. And because of that, we had almost a half hour of previews before the movie. Because they had to show the ones that the theater needed to show. And then Disney made sure to cram in every single preview that they have.
Oh, wow.
And then the worst part was the Mulan one was completely in 3D. So you couldn't even see what was going on because it was just blurry.
Oh.
It's like, okay, you didn't plan this, but yeah, I wasn't very kind on the survey, but I was honest.
Okay.
And there's a couple plot things that just drove me absolutely nuts. So, which if anybody's interested, I'll share with you after. But
Sure, I'd love to hear what you.
It's not like the kind of thing where I need to take to Twitter and yell at the studio. I'm stupid. But it was cool seeing Warwick Davis though. I thought he was dead. Apparently not. I was thinking of Vern Troyer, apparently. Word. Okay.
Very cool.
And wow, we're wrapping this up at a minute after.
Wow.
No, this is not right. We have to keep talking.
Okay, so
Is that
that I saw yesterday is that Castle Rock season 2 is out. They Hulu threw up the first 3 episodes. I started watching it. It is really good.
How's the first season of that?
Oh, it was great.
Yeah.
The first season was really great because it didn't revolve around known Stephen King established characters.
Mm-hmm.
Season 2 does. But season 2 also incorporates Castle Rock is pretty good about incorporating previous stuff, but not being a retelling of that story. So like it, because everything happens in this town where there is a history and they'll allude to things that have happened in the stories in the past. Mm-hmm. But it's not necessarily the driving force for that story. So yeah, I think it's one of the better Stephen King TV, and mainly because I think they were given kind of a outline rather than trying to adapt pre-existing IP. So very good. And then there was a show that most people probably didn't know about. It's called Living with Yourself. On Netflix, it dropped last weekend. Stars Paul Rudd. Paul Rudd, he goes to a spa to reset, and turns out that they cloned him. But they failed at getting rid of the original, so now there's 2 of him. If you liked the Ant-Man movie when it was just like him being him and not being Ant-Man, it's a lot of that. It's a lot of fun, and I can't believe that there was like no fanfare or anything. It just showed up, and I said, "What is this?" And then the last thing, since we're vying for time, Watchmen on HBO.
Yeah.
I fell asleep. I tried to watch it 2 more times, and I continued to fall asleep, so I don't think I'm going to be watching it. Think I'm out.
That good, huh?
And, and Hail to the Chief, no. I'm not giving out any spoilers. You were given your marching orders. And, Drew, I assume you're talking about Living with Yourself. Yeah, it's not a super polished. It's kind of, it's just what it is, and that's what's beautiful. It's what's beautiful about it. It's just like anybody could have done on like YouTube or something. So, alrighty, hey, we will go ahead and wrap this up, and thanks everybody for hanging out with us. for those of you watching this after the fact, we do this live every Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Central, here on Twitch. If you are here with us now, stick around for the post show. We got a couple titles to choose from. And Web at Magic totally threw me off with the Don Johnson thing because my brain started wondering, wait, what was Don Johnson in? But yeah, so, you know, if you're watching this after the fact, join us live sometime because that's where all the fun is. You get to talk crap in the chat or correct us when we're wrong and submit cool titles. But until then, we will see you guys next week. We will sign off and I will stop rambling because I lost my complete train of thought. But
I did it. Yes.
Yes. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.